Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. We have been gone for about a week, and I want to make sure that I tell you guys why. But before we jump into that, let me welcome some special people to the channel. It's those of you who are new to the channel. This is the Angry Man Podcast on Sports Media, where Jason and I are always dropping boxing related content. So make sure you become a subscriber. And for those of you who are subscribers or regular patrons of the channel, make sure you smash the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but make sure you are engaging with the content. Now, let's jump into this. This is a topic about Terence Crawford. So per usual, I need to make sure that I preface my comment. And actually, I think this time I'm actually going to give a disclaimer. So let me look right into the camera as I say this. Terence Crawford is a wonderful human being. He is a terrific father. He is a pillar in our community. Terence Crawford may be one of the best fighters in history, maybe the best fighter in history. Hell, Terence Crawford might as well be from the planet Krypton because he can single-handedly outrun locomotive, leap a building in a single bound. He is all those things. Anything that I say in this video subsequent to this statement is not meant to impugn the reputation of Terence Crawford. It is just meant to talk about the sport of boxing. I wanted to say that because I wanted to make sure that I'm not in a situation where I receive a cease and desist letter. Now let's jump into it. You guys have heard me talk about Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez for quite some time. I do not believe that this is the favorable matchup that many Terence Crawford fans believe it is based off of what I've seen in the past. I think too much has been taken from the Errol Spence fight and how he performed in a dominant fashion during that particular fight. But also, I think not enough has been gleaned from the fact that he did not perform to the level that we expected against Israel Madrimov, a fighter who only had 11 fights, 12 fights at the time. And I think a lot of excuses have been made why the performance wasn't necessarily the performance we would expect. It's he never fought like that before, or is, whatever. Even though we saw Virgil Ortiz have Israel Madrimov literally on a bike. Now, I have always been of the mindset that Canelo Alvarez is not Errol Spence. He has a completely different style. He's a lot smarter fighter than people are going to give him credit for whatever reason. And I think they are not truly the same size. This has never been a sport where it was the height and reach division. It has always been a sport where it's the weight division. And different frame, different body, a comfort level with bigger punchers, I think, could always lead to perhaps the demise of Terence Crawford if he faces Canelo Alvarez. Now, again, I've been labeled a hater for this. I don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to be crying again like we were crying about Spence fight, even though neither one of us cried. But that's the things that I've heard here lately. However, I will say this, and this has been one of the concerns for me as it relates to Canelo Alvarez and why I have shifted a little bit from believing Terence Crawford didn't have much of a chance to giving him a 30 to 40% chance. And then I recently saw an interview with Canelo Alvarez that makes me even more concerned about my pick. And it makes me believe that possibly Terence Crawford has a much better chance than I originally thought. And Canelo Alvarez also understands that he has a much better chance. Here's what I heard from Canelo, and this is what makes me feel more uncomfortable than what I would have normally felt about 3-4 months ago. Canelo Alvarez was recently interviewed. As a matter of fact, Terence Crawford was interviewed as well, and they were both asked similar questions. They were asked to stop when they heard a name that was better than their opponent. So, for instance, Terence Crawford was asked, stop when you hear a fighter that's better than Canelo Alvarez. Now, Terence Crawford listed two, maybe three that he thought were better than Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez didn't mention anyone. Now, that's not necessarily in and of itself a reason to have doubt, right? However, the one thing that did concern me is that the interviewer asked him, was Floyd Mayweather better than Canelo Alvarez? excuse me, better than Terence Crawford. And he said no. My issue is Canelo Alvarez, you got schooled. You got absolutely schooled by Floyd Mayweather. I mean, absolutely just didn't even look like a competitive fight. Looks like a pro versus an amateur. So if you believe that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather, then how is it that you believe that you will beat Terence Crawford? See, I've had issues with Canelo Alvarez and his mannerisms for a while as it relates to this fight. I don't feel the same confidence, in my opinion. I don't hear the same assurance in his voice, in my opinion. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And so now you're saying that this guy is better than Floyd Mayweather, which I totally disagree with. He's not better than Floyd Mayweather. But the fact that you truly believe that in your heart, I'm hoping that this is just for promotional purposes. But if you truly believe that Terence Crawford in your heart is better than Floyd Mayweather, then you must also truly believe that he's better than you. Because Canelo is better than what he was when he fought Floyd, but I mean, it's not substantially better. And if Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather, that means that he has multiple ways of beating an opponent, just like Floyd, which means that he would have multiple ways of beating you. Now, I've always thought the size advantage or disadvantage would be a concern and an issue. And I've always felt that the reason why it wasn't as much of an issue for Floyd is because of the style. I don't think Terence Crawford has a style that can allow him to avoid the pressure, the power of Canelo Alvarez like Floyd did. And of course, now Canelo is bigger, stronger. Punches don't have the same level of impact. So it's even worse. So that, for me, is the reason why I felt that, the styles make fights. But still, the fact that you're sitting up, like, I wouldn't admit that. I would not say that, because to me, that implies that this guy has a style that can beat me, or something that he can do that can beat me, because I got schooled by this guy. So I'm really hoping that Canelo Alvarez is simply putting this out here just for promotional purposes, so that when he does win, he can say that he beat someone on the same level as Floyd, that this is a makeup fight for the performance against Floyd amongst his people. I'm hoping that's the case, versus there truly feel like there's a real belief that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather. Because if that is the case, then I have to shift my pick. If he truly believes that, I have to shift my pick. He's going to lose. He's going to absolutely lose. So you guys tell me what you think in the comment section in regards to what he had to say. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, M Sports Media, and I am out.